If you're wondering the differences between the new Momcozy mobile style pump and the Momcozy M5 pump, then stick around, as in this video I am going to walk you through the similarities and differences between these two Momcozy pumps. So let's dive on in and take a look. So first of all is the design. You can see with the mobile style that this is a teardrop design. It really is more shaped like your breast, and when wearing this in your bra, it is really more of an extension of your breast opposed to the semicircle, which does tend to protrude a little bit further. If I put them side by side, you can really see the difference in the shape and how that sits or would sit in your bra. A feature I absolutely love of the mobile style that you don't have with the M5 is that it will stand up. So once you have finished your pumping session, you can stand that up while you are fiddling around with your other pump, unlike the M5, which makes you deal with one pump at a time. So just having this stand really does help in terms of functionality while you are or during your pumping session. Another feature, and although this isn't quite as dramatic, but it is something that you might want to consider, is the collection cup capacity. It is smaller on the M5 at only 5.4 ounces opposed to the 6 ounce capacity on the mobile style. In terms of weight, they are both lightweight pumps. However, the M5 is only 230 grams, so it is a little bit lighter than the Mum style, which is 275 grams. Now, the reasoning for that is, if I pull this off, the flange, I'll do it this side, is actually made of hard plastic, which I absolutely love. If you have seen my review on this pump, you'll know that I love this. It actually clips into place. Let me line it up properly, sorry. And it is as simple as that. Your seal is going to be nice and firm every time, opposed to the more flexible flange on your M5, which is what you typically see on a wearable breast pump. Now, this is a lot more tricky to put on. You have to fiddle around with lifting up the seal over the edge and then push it around. Whilst it's not hard, it is just a little bit more complicated, and I think that this just gives a little bit more room for error in making sure that you have an adequate seal. If you don't have an adequate seal, then it can lead to leaks, as well as your pump not sucking properly, because you need to have that vacuum, an adequate vacuum for the suction. So that's what a solid seal will do. I really like this hard shell or flange for it opposed to the silicone. That said, this is still a very soft against your breast. You'll see here, which is the same with both pumps, that you have the unique double fit flange from Momcozy. Now, this is essentially a breast cushion that sits on both of these pumps. It acts to cushion your breast for comfort, but it also helps for maintaining a secure fit as well. And on the top of this, if you can see, there is also a thin layer of silicone, so any parts that's up against your skin isn't sitting against the hard plastic. Okay, so let's look at the performance, because that's, again, after your design, performance is one of the biggest parts of pumping. You want a pump that is going to perform and be efficient. So they are quite similar in terms of both have 3 modes. They have your stimulation, expression, and a mixed mode. Both have 9 different suction levels, so you can easily tailor your pumping session to your comfort levels. The main difference here is that the Momcozy M5 also, now it won't show me on here, but when you're on this mixed mode, it also has a vibration. So if you imagine this is on your breast and slightly vibrating, this helps to loosen the milk in your milk ducts and potentially extract more milk. So that is something to consider in terms of performance. Suction strength, they are both incredibly similar. The M5 wins ahead slightly with up to 300 millimeters of mercury, where the mobile style is 295, but really in terms of suction strength, I would say that they are very equal. One other really key difference, and I touched on flanges before, but the M5, and I don't know how well you can see this, it actually has a very unique 105-degree flange on it. And so with this flange, it is designed to mimic the positioning of your baby's mouth. And this is meant to help with letdown as well as comfort. So if you find that pumping generally is uncomfortable for you, then the M5 with its unique 100-degree flange slope really might be the better pump for you. If you've never had a problem with pumping and comfort, then your traditional 180-degree flange is really more than sufficient. When we're talking flanges as well and comfort, one of the biggest things is having the right flange size. Now, both come with your standard 24 millimeter flange. They both have smaller inserts that you can use to reduce this flange size. They both come with a nipple ruler, which I absolutely love for helping you find your correct flange size. But the advantage of the Momcozy M5 is that it also comes with this larger, now I don't know if you can see it on here, 27 millimeter flange. So if you are somebody that needs a larger flange size, then the M5 is a fantastic option, as this comes part of your kit. All right, so a couple of main differences. So battery life. The M5 only has a battery life of 120 minutes. Now, this is okay. This will get you up to 6 20-minute pumping sessions, which is more than enough for a part-time pumper or an occasional pumper, but it also does have a 2-hour recharge. So if you're going to be pumping on the go more than a few times in a day, you may want to look closer at the mobile style. It has 180 minutes of battery life, so that's potentially 8 to 9 20-minute pumping sessions, and is recharged in only an hour and a half. So in terms of battery life, the mum style is hands down winner. Minor difference, which really, it's a personal preference. It doesn't overly affect your pumping session, but if I turn this on, you'll clearly see that the M5 does not have an inbuilt timer. I personally love an inbuilt timer because it's one less thing that I feel you need to keep a track of while you are pumping, but it is generally pretty easy to have a look at your watch or your phone and keep a track of your time. Now, one of the favorite things I love about these two pumps, and it is unique to these two pumps, is they both come, now let me see if I can pull this up a little bit. They both come with this fancy hard shell carry case. Now, if you can see the size difference, the mum style carry case is a lot shallower in size, so it's quite a bit smaller opposed to the M5. Reasoning being, with the M5 you have just a little bit more room for your accessories. So that can be a big advantage if you are going to be carrying your milk storage bags with you or extra flanges. But I do find with the mobile style that you still, it's very hard one-handed, you still do have enough room in here with the pocket for storing your cable chargers and milk storage bags. So both, again, fabulous. I love that Momcozy have included these. They really are such a great asset, I think. And in terms of, again, something I do love is they both come with this really great lid for your flange. So again, if you're on the go and you don't quite have time to wash a pump, you can pop on your storage lid. Both have these, and I think it is a great feature to have. All right, I think that is all of it I have covered. The last one, sorry, I should mention is price. Now, as you'd expect, being the newer model, especially with the design features, the Momcozy mobile style is slightly more expensive than the M5, but really I do feel with its discretion, extended battery life, that this is really a great pump and quite possibly worth the extra price tag. But again, if comfort and the unique 105 degree flange is something that is really important to you, then I really do also love the Momcozy M5. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please ask and I will do my very best to answer them. Cheers.